After 22 years in the NFL, Tom Brady has retired. And I'm not going to lie, it's daunting to even try to explain what Tom Brady means to me and his career meant to me. I feel like I could do an entire podcast for like an hour talking about my love for Tom Brady. He is my favorite player of all time. And by the way, I will not talk for an hour about Tom Brady. We'll keep it short as much as I can. Tom Brady brought me a lot of joy. All these moments watching football on the couch with my dad, cheering for Tom Brady. All the battles, Peyton Manning versus Tom Brady were so fun. And I played quarterback growing up, and Tom Brady deeply inspired me. He was a 6th-round pick, famously drafted 199th overall. And the reason why I love Tom Brady is that he mastered everything he could control. And he was an underdog. People forget that about Tom Brady. Tom Brady's looked at as a winner, and not at first. Tom Brady's kind of the American dream. It's funny, actually, more people don't love Tom Brady based on where he came from. A guy that nobody wanted in the NFL. A backup to Drew Bledsoe. Had to earn everything that happened to him. Peyton Manning was a number 1 overall pick, and I love Peyton Manning, but I always resonated with the underdog story of Tom Brady, a guy who came out of nowhere, a guy who wasn't wanted, who 6th-round pick. And when I watch Justin Herbert play football, or Josh Allen, right, there's nothing I can relate to there. I was short, had a weak arm, couldn't run, right? I was a very mediocre quarterback. Let's be honest, right? But I never relied on my athleticism. The way I played quarterback was relying on my footwork and my mechanics and my decision-making. That stuff you can control. I couldn't control the fact that I'm 5'11" and don't run a 4.5 40-yard dash, right? Tom Brady mastered everything he could control. His footwork was impeccable. His mechanics, his knowledge of the game. I learned how to beat a blitz watching Tom Brady because Tom Brady loved when linebackers would blitz him. He's like, hey, guess what that means? Got one-on-one coverage outside. If you bring more people to sack me, got fewer people in coverage. I love that. I learned that watching Tom Brady as a child, loving that. Tom Brady has incredible people skills. That's something that cannot go understated. The way he relates to his teammates, the way he cares for people, the way he builds community, his leadership is incredible. That takes work, by the way. That's not something, some people are natural leaders, but still, even a natural leader has to be wary of, I got to talk to this guy. How's this guy doing? How's Chuck doing? How's my lineman doing? How's this guy? You check in with people. That's leadership, and Tom Brady was really, really good at it. I learned so much from watching Tom Brady, so many life lessons, and it's well beyond throwing touchdowns, man. Like the lessons I learned about work ethic from watching Tom Brady, I use every day. And frankly, like Tom Brady set a hilariously absurd standard that I don't think I could ever live up to, right? The work ethic, the sacrifices he made, it's incredible. Like, how can you not look? I've never quite related to the person who doesn't like Tom Brady. I understand. Here's maybe a better way to put it. I understand if you don't like him because you're tired of him or you're a Buffalo Bills fan or a Jets fan. But I think everybody should respect Tom Brady. Like, I don't know how you can't respect what he did and the clear work he put into his career and the sacrifices he made. The way he ate. Like, he ate boring food, right? And that's, I'm on a diet. It's not fun to eat boring food and, like, really eat the food that's better for you because McDonald's French fries are calling to me, right? The way he trained, the late nights watching film. Tom Brady worked like others wouldn't so he could live a life that others couldn't. And that always will inspire me about Tom Brady. Obviously, he won 7 Super Bowls, more than anybody else. He retires with a crazy, absurd amount of records, and a lot of them are like most wins ever in the playoffs, most playoff touchdown passes. The ones that matter to me are he's got the most wins ever for a quarterback, most passing yards, and most touchdowns. He is, I mean, statistically, literally, probably not. I think the fact that Tom Brady's not the most talented quarterback ever, like when you watch Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, they're way better athletes and way more talented. Aaron Rodgers is a way better thrower of the football than Tom Brady. But the fact that Tom Brady wasn't the most talented and still achieved everything he did, that's why I love the guy, right? He controlled everything he could control. Amazing. In fact, he got better as the years went on. He has record after record. He's got, most passing yards, most touchdowns, most wins. And what's crazy is that at 44 years old, as Tom Brady retires, he'll be 45 in August. He could have kept playing. This year, his final year in the NFL. At 44 years old, he led the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns, in completions, in passes thrown, pass attempts. He threw the ball more than any other quarterback in the NFL at 44 years old. Won a playoff game, won his division. And the reality is, you could argue he played the best football of his life in his final year of his career at 44 years old. And you really got to give credit to Tom as an outside-the-box thinker. He got made fun of a lot. Do you remember when Alex Guerrero got told he could no longer be on the sideline of Patriots games? I do. And there were people chirping, man. A lot of people. Tom Brady and his crackpot trainer, these crazy ideas. He thinks he's going to play till he's 45. He's going to fall off a cliff. His trainer, Alex Guerrero, and their weird alternative methods. Well, it worked. He could have played till he was 45. He chose not to. He left a year early, right? And I will point out, so Tom Brady put out this long statement. Oh, it's like 7 pages. I'm not going to read all of it. I will read some keywords. I will point out, though, in everything that Tom Brady said, this long speech thanking everybody, he never once used the word or the words retirement or retire. So, he's done. I'm pretty sure he's done. He's done. It is interesting, though, he didn't say retire. And maybe that more speaks to, he's like, I'm no longer going to play football, but I'm going to keep working just in other avenues, whether it's media, building companies, coaching, public speaking, writing books, who knows, right? He's going to probably I don't think he's the kind of guy who wants to just sit at the beach and do nothing. I think he's too type A and too much of a workaholic to do that. He'll probably do that for a while, but after a while that gets boring, and trust me, like you want to do stuff, and I'm sure he will. Here are a few key words that Tom Brady said. I'm going to read them. There's 2 breaks. We'll see ellipses in this, what I'm about to read. Tom Brady said, I've always believed the sport of football is an all-in proposition. If a 100% competitive commitment isn't there, you won't succeed. Ellipsis. I have tried my very best these past 22 years. There are no shortcuts to success on the field or in life. Ellipsis again. I am not going to make that competitive commitment anymore. I have loved my NFL career, and now it is time to focus my time and energy on other things that require my attention. Can't blame the guy. In fact, I really respect it. He recognized, if I'm not all in, it's not going to work. And I respect the game too much to play for the sake of playing when I'm not all in. He earned everything. He earned the millions of dollars he had. He earned the years of retirement ahead of him if he wants them. I'm convinced he'll do media or something. I think he's going to do something there. But I really hope he enjoys time with his family. His parents are getting older, and I know that I'm going to miss my dad tremendously whenever he dies someday, and I cherish every moment I get with my dad. And Tom Brady's kids are getting older. They're going to move out of the house soon. You want to be around them. Like, you want to cherish those years you have. And it sounds to me like that, that there's that sliding scale, right? Does the benefit outweigh the cost? Does the benefit of playing football, the carrot on the end of the stick, the Super Bowls, the keep chasing success, does that outweigh the cost of not spending time with their family anymore? I think the scale is tipped the other way, and now Tom Brady wants to spend time with his family. Cannot blame the guy at all. And again, it is funny. Never said retire, never said retirement one time. I just want to say thank you, Tom. Thank you so much for the years of inspiration, entertainment. I watched The Brady Six as a child. The Brady Six is a documentary all about the 6 quarterbacks that were drafted ahead of Tom Brady. And remember, Tom Brady was counted out, overlooked, not wanted, not believed in. I think everybody's felt that way at some point, right? No matter where in life you are, everybody's felt a moment of, man, I'm the only person who believes in me. And Tom Brady, I guess his dad did, but he was the only person who believed he could become what he became. And he effing did it, man. Like, how can you not smile about that? A guy who believes in himself when no one else did. He became the most accomplished quarterback of all time. That's why I love Tom Brady. He inspired me tremendously. A lot of touchdowns, a lot of Super Bowls. But the thing I will always be grateful for when it comes to Tom Brady is that there's really two things he modeled. He modeled work ethic. He modeled that willingness to sacrifice. And I'm going to tell you a story. I think people don't know this about Strong Opinion Sports. My show, my full-time job, I love it. When I started the show, I slept under my desk on a mattress pad under my desk for 2 years when I was in college, believing I took out a student loan. I never got a degree. I wasn't there for college. I was there because my student loan paid for my dorm room and my internet, which allowed me to do Strong Opinion Sports. I slept under my desk for a year and a half in college, man. And it's moments like that where I believed in myself. That was me chasing my dream, right? And Tom Brady, I don't know who you are listening. I don't know where you are in life, but I encourage you to look at what Tom Brady's done and try to find, there's a shared journey in there somewhere. And man, even when I wasn't playing football in my life, I would think about Tom Brady and that effort made it, right? I can, right? He was counted out. Favorite player of all time. So the way Tom Brady modeled work ethic, sacrificing, when I was pulling all-nighters, working on my show, working full-time, doing school full-time, and trying to build my show on the side and sleeping under my desk, I thought of guys like, what would Tom Brady do? Would he sacrifice? Hell yeah, he would. And then the other thing Tom Brady modeled, work ethic is one, but the way he built a great family is very inspiring. I don't know what my future holds, frankly, with a family. I just called off an engagement. I don't know if I'm ever going to have kids. Everything feels uncertain, frankly, when it comes to my future building a family. But I know that if I ever do have a family, I want something like what Tom Brady has. An amazing partnership, a great relationship with my dad, kids I love that I'm proud of, that I spend time with. I mean, I don't know how you can't look at Tom Brady and the way, the model and the way he's lived his life, achieving, working hard, building a family. It's incredibly inspiring to me. Thank you, Tom Brady. It feels like he's dying. He's not. But I didn't expect it come. Honestly, the rumors are out there, and Adam Schefter says that. I don't really believe Adam Schefter when he says anything now. I'm like, we'll see. I was waiting for Tom Brady to announce he retired, and he did. The moment has come. But I'm sad to see him go, and I am always going to be grateful for the role model Tom Brady was in my life. And man, and the years of entertainment. Tom Brady, congratulations. Thank you so much. And I don't know. I'm going to miss the guy.